Hey y'all, it's Chase with AV Pop Culture. What's up? Sneak Attack Surprise Live. Was not expecting to be here. I'll give you all a couple of minutes to join me. I don't know if anybody will even join me, but I needed to come on and say my piece. I got a video that's up right now, but I got home, I saw this, and it's time to give some to call some accountability questions here on Vinegar Syndrome for this sale, because this is rough. This is rough. I'm gonna try to wipe off my camera right here. This is rough. Hey, yeah, I was not planning this. You can tell I wasn't planning it because I have a video that just launched for today at 12 o'clock. But I saw this stuff, and I was able to get back home today from everything I was doing. I saw this stuff, and this is the biggest letdown from Vinegar Syndrome I've ever seen this month. And it's time to wrestle back control of the cinematograph line from Justin LaLiberty. I'm just going to call it out. One person can't be making these decisions. Now, if it's a group decision on these titles, then whatever. But if this is if this is indeed the way they pitch it as one person, they got to get it back from him. Yeah, he made the start of a stream. Yeah, shaking my head, Vinegar Syndrome. That don't even cover half of it. Good afternoon, Ben. Dude, I hold everybody accountable. There's whole videos of me taking Arrow to task. There's whole videos of me taking Scream Factory to task. And I defend Vinegar Syndrome and Scream Factory a lot. But you can't defend this. You can't defend this. I mean, this is, who is this? I know, right? Tonio, it makes me look... nice. Yeah, whenever I shave off the ears for sure. What's up? Why So Bluetooth channel icon in the house. William Driver. What's up? Woke Niner. Yeah, this is we're gonna pop this up here because I shouldn't even give it a full fucking screen. This is nonsense. I hold myself accountable on stuff. You gotta, let's see, because this is some bullshit right here. First of all, this has nothing to do with the alien invasion. Neither did We're No Angels, the other cinematograph. But you got Justin LaLiberty out there on social media trying to justify that they didn't put We're No Angels on 4K because people weren't buying the other 4Ks like Shanks and Thieves Like Us and shit like that. So we didn't get a movie with Sean Penn and Robert De Niro and Demi Moore and John C. Reilly that had a decent big budget, a newer movie. We didn't get that on 4K because those didn't sell. But you're going to come out with 1970 or 71's G-rated British comedy drama with Walter Matthau in fucking 4K. Are you kidding me right now? Like, what in the world? Now, I'm for everything coming to 4K. So I have nothing against this particular movie being in 4K. I have a problem with the excuse you made on We're No Angels because you picked bad titles for the cinematograph line, and then you throw this out on 4K. This is something Criterion was going after. I think Justin LaLiberty needs to go work for Criterion. I really do, because these titles, they don't fit with this audience. They do not fit with the Vinegar Syndrome brand. They don't fit with Cinematograph brand. This is weak sauce shit right here. Like, this doesn't fit here. This fits with a Criterion label. Like this, and this has dick all to do with alien invasion. That's what I'm saying. This is the new release. This is the new cinematograph release today. It's either 70 or 71. Yeah, 1971 film starring Walter Matthau. It's a G-rated film. Like it is, this is there, and they made 5,000 copies of these. This is good luck. Good luck. Good luck. They have to get, if this is indeed all controlled, as Justin Liberty says, by him, his curated collection of cinematograph line, somebody needs to take the keys to the car away from him. Because the titles he's picking, they suck. It has nothing to do with whether it's 4K or Blu-ray. Overall, the titles are bullshit. But you're going to come out and you're going to say, We're No Angels got no 4K because stuff like Shanks and Thieves Like Us and Last Embrace and stuff is not selling. He said that's why you didn't get the 4K, because those 4Ks aren't selling. But then you turn around and instead of a De Niro, Sean Penn, Demi Moore, John C. Reilly movie getting a 4K, you put out fucking A New Leaf on 4K. Like I'm behind getting. Listen, I want everything on 4K. It's not the problem that New Leaf came out on 4K. I want every movie to transfer to 4K. But you can't give me that song and dance excuse about We're No Angels not getting a 4K or Joy of Sex not getting a 4K because of the 4K is not selling, but you're going to give me A New Leaf on 4K? And how the hell does either one of those have anything to do with the alien invasion? Like, this is, Beetlejuice, I love you, man, but they're not listening to the YouTuber. They're like, this decision had to be made a long time before because they had to get the rights. They had to do the 4K restoration, the 4K scan, the production of the box set, all that stuff. That was way, way ahead of anybody talking about this. This is something that Criterion would put out right here. Justin Liberty, I feel like, is working for the wrong company. Vinegar Syndrome is not Criterion. Well, but the problem is, he's over here also crying. He might be trying to make them like Criterion titles, but that's not this audience, number one. Number two, he's over here on social media complaining that they're not selling. These titles are not selling. But what does sell? Drop Zone sells. Drop Zone is already down to 1,300 left. It's only been out for 5 weeks. Joy of Sex is almost sold out. Little Darlings sold out. Red Rock West sold out. You pick the right titles, they sell out. Like this is the big, and this is the grand finale. That's the other problem. This is the grand finale you built up to today at the end of the sale. This is your friggin' grand finale. What in the world? Hey, Dulce. Yes, this is so underwhelming. See, that is the other part of it. Like, I've been out here advocating for Vinegar Syndrome this year as a subscriber, as a full year subscriber for the first time, and I will resubscribe to them next year. I most likely will. These aren't included anyway, but I've been out here telling people, like, look, mid-year subscriber week is coming up, and you have one of your worst months and one of the worst sales in recent memory for Vinegar Syndrome on the month you're trying to get people to sign up. Like, what in the world? Like, this is, you're watching my VSU ranking right now on your TV. See, that's another, I'm killing my own video today. If you guys don't know this, this is how much this really genuinely bothers me. And it is, I had a video. I wasn't planning to do this today. I had a video scheduled at noon. My video dropped. I'm ranking the VSUs, and I came on 20 minutes after that video dropped. That's going to kill my video today. So, but I felt like this needed to be addressed because this is hot garbage. Hot garbage. Vinegar, but need to take into account all the YouTubers trashing them to make and do different labels. Now, but the problem is though, man, you've got one man. Like this whole thing is one man curating a collection here. And it says curated and produced by Vinegar Syndrome's Justin LaLiberty. Each limit, like, so it is his curated collection. This isn't on Vinegar Syndrome at large. This is on them making the mistake in investing in what this guy is saying to put out. This guy doesn't belong. I mean, his tastes clearly don't align with Vinegar Syndrome consumers. They align more with Criterion consumers. This is what happens when you put one person, like, you can't do that. Like, and click, you could do it if the person had their finger on the pulse. I could think of 5 different YouTubers that would have a better idea of what to put out for this crowd than this. I'm gonna make a shirt. Be Mac. I'm gonna make that shirt, but at least, but I got Mac in me, so I can't say shit. Oh, no spoiler alerts on my VSUs. Thank you for watching it. But I don't disagree that Thieves Like Us and Joyride and Bang the Drum Slowly might be good movies. Do any of those strike you as Vinegar Syndrome titles? None of them. And I get that it's a sub-label, but they don't fit. Like, this is it doesn't fit with the crowd. The problem is, though, he's going to turn around when they don't sell and blame you, the consumer, that you're not buying them, because he's already doing that. They're already doing that on the Facebook groups. They're blaming you, the consumer, for not buying them, rather than looking inward and saying, hey, you know what? I'm not picking the right titles for this customer base. That's where I have a problem. Like, I'm a creative person too. I make movies, I write, I do all that stuff. I made myself do business in school as well, so that you have some kind of idea of the inmates can't just run the asylum. You have to say, you know what? I like a new leaf. I'd love to see it get a 4K. But does a 1971 sort of American / British drama comedy Criterion type thing, does that fit with Vinegar Syndrome people who are going to buy stuff like Mac and Me and Roadhouse and Showgirls and Nightmare Sisters and stuff? Like, it does not fit. It doesn't fit. And you're not going to woo. If your idea is we're going to woo like the Criterion crowd over here, you're not going to do that. You're not going to do that in enough numbers for it to make any difference. So all you're doing is alienating your own fan base, and you're wasting money, and you're going to set on dead stock. That's what's going to happen. They will never get them. They will, more than a few here and there, they will never get them, because Criterion, hardcore Criterion fans, they do not look approvingly on Vinegar Syndrome for the most part. They mock it, make fun of it. There are YouTube channels that focus on Criterion that you can go to and watch them mock and make fun and kind of laugh and spoof their way through Vinegar Syndrome stuff. So you're not getting that crowd. Yeah, they have not been good. Is Warner... Man, it doesn't work like that. You honestly think that Warner Brothers is doing movies that Dawn of the Discs gives them to do? I know you don't think that for real, man. They don't give two shits. They do not give two shits. You might affect a label a little bit more, but if they were listening to people, people are bitching about this title. So that doesn't make any sense. People are like, that doesn't belong. What are you doing? Where's the alien stuff? Where's the 4K? So they're not listening to them. And they're not listening to what's selling. What's up, William Cinema? Y'all go check out William Cinema. He's got a new channel he's starting up. Young guy, he's trying to do it over here, man. You Cave 2, got Rage Carry 2. Let's go check out the daily deals. Is there anything over here? Hey, they put Sidekicks on sale. I will actually get that now. I've been waiting on it to go on sale. I will actually get it because I'm trying to get two of the line. So Thieves Like Us. Again, when did somebody look and tell me when Thieves Like Us came out? They made 6,000 units. They're still sitting on over 2,000 of them. It's not gonna work. Night Screams I have. That's just a standard. That's not a bad one though. Damn y'all, this sales are weak. They never even put Daryl on the sale. How about that shit? They never put Daryl on here. I'm not really sure what they're doing with this sale. Yep, I'm going to get it because I'm trying to put together two of the VSU line. Thieves Like yeah, it's Robert Altman. Yeah, and he's got a ton over at Criterion. My favorite Robert Altman right here I have is one of them is probably The Player. He also did McCabe and Miss Miller, if I'm not mistaken. Justin LaLiberty is an artsy kind of, film school pinky up guy. I'm not so sure his tastes are going to align with the Vinegar Syndrome base in the long run if these are the titles that's getting picked. And because I don't hide behind anything, I'll say that out here. Like, I will be honest with you guys. If he is the one and he's got the unilateral power, as it says, to curate this collection and make these decisions, he's swinging and missing. He's swinging and missing. And it's showing in the sales. So I don't know how long they're going to let him continue to swing and miss, because I've already heard from a bunch of people that if it was a new leaf, that was the last straw. They were completely out on this line. So I have heard from dozens and dozens of people. And you think that doesn't make a difference? Brother, if you've only got 4,000 or 5,000 copies and 50 people say, hey, I've bought every one, but I'm not buying it, and that's just the 50 that told me, you can't afford to lose those 50 people. My bad, man. I just jumped on here. I'm not even paying attention to that, man. I just jumped here. I'll hide it for you. I was not even paying attention to that. This was the last second. I wasn't planning it. You know he's not being serious about that, right? They're not doing that, Beetlejuice. They're not listening to us and saying, Ken said to put this title out, or don't put this title out. They're not doing that. They're not doing that. Especially the major studios are not doing that. Definitely not, man. Completely different is one thing, but the stated goal was for film auteurs and to fill the gaps in the canon of American cinema with film studio, film produced stuff. So like, you have this wide definition of what you're doing. If Little Darlings and Drop Zone and Red Rock West fit in that and they're selling out, why are you doing A New Leaf and Go Fish and stuff like that? Shit's not gonna sell. It's not selling. Like, you just keep doubling down. You're trying to dig your way out of a hole by going deeper. It makes no sense. I don't feel like I don't buy what I don't want either. But I am going to I'm going to hold people accountable. Like, you almost will never see me, and I defend people all the time. You will not ever see me just come on and say, all right, this just sucks because I hate these titles. I'm not going to say, I don't say that. I'm not saying that now. My concern is what you're doing doesn't fit with this label. And I'm explaining to you why I think these titles are wrong. Not just, they suck, I don't like them, so screw them. I'm not saying that. I'm saying this doesn't fit with this label. These are not selling. These are selling. I want physical media to grow. I want people to buy the stuff. I'm getting inundated with people telling me they're turning away from it. So I'm like, I'm protective of Vinegar Syndrome. I want them to do well. I want Scream Factory. I want Arrow. I mean, to be honest, those are my 3 favorite labels, for sure. They're my 3 favorites to buy from. And I don't know, like, I don't know what you're doing here. I've invested a lot of money, and it doesn't make sense. What you're out there saying publicly in defense of it doesn't make sense. To say We're No Angels isn't coming out on 4K because the 4Ks of Thieves Like Us didn't sell, or the 4K of Who Killed Teddy Bear didn't sell. So we're not giving you We're No Angels on 4K. But we're going to give you A New Leaf on 4K. That kind of flies in the face of what you said, and it's more about someone's personal taste that they're doing. So it really just doesn't make any sense. And I was out here, I called out Scream Factory for having a bad month. I called out Arrow because they went 3 months this year without a limited edition box release in the US, for only putting out 1 or 2 titles, for re-releasing stuff. It's totally up to you to buy what you want or not buy what you want. But as a customer, it's okay to say that you have a standard too. This doesn't meet the standard. It's not selling. It's not selling. When people complain about Scream Factory, for instance, they released another Steelbook. They wouldn't keep releasing those if they weren't selling. So they're selling. These things, we can see the numbers. They're not selling. So it makes no sense. That figures. Yeah, I'm getting my second copy of Sidekicks today. But Beetlejuice. Do you think the way to get someone to stop trashing you is to put out A New Leaf on 4K in a week that's supposed to be an Alien takeover? Like, this is supposed to be an Alien summer takeover. You haven't dropped anything else Alien really since the first day other than Mac and Me. So, like, even if what you're saying is true, this doesn't make any sense, because you wouldn't drop out A New Leaf on 4K from 1971 that belongs in the Criterion Collection to get people to stop complaining about Vinegar Syndrome releases. Like, that's just going to make people complain more, because it doesn't fit. It doesn't fit. And you're going to sit on these things, man. Meanwhile, Drop Zone, you did in 4K. It's been out for about 5 weeks or so. You've already sold 75% of your stock in 5 weeks. Little Darlings, sold out. Red Rock West, sold out. You can get a standard edition. Going South, finally starting to sell out. But again, that's a better title. That fits a little bit better. You got Jack Nicholson, all that kind of stuff. Fits better. But then you're going to come in here and you're going to go, I mean, how many do you need to make that aren't going to sell? Go Fish. They're going to hand this thing out as free gift with purchase before it's over with. Because that is a tiny niche market for that audience, for that film to start with, and then you're narrowing it down even more in the physical media Vinegar Syndrome market. Makes no sense. This has been out how long? 6, 7 months? They hadn't even sold half of them. Not even close. Joyride was on sale for $20 this sale, and it's still got over 1,200 left. Thieves Like Us, still over 2,000 in stock. I think that came out, that was like last year at this sale, right? You guys have to look at Last Embrace, not moving, over 2,000 of those left. Like, I don't, whatever. I mean, to be honest, AJ, like, I know there's like another big channel or two that does lives that cover this, and their whole shtick is to just shit on Vinegar Syndrome. They shit on Vinegar Syndrome, they shit on Scream Factory, and that's their right to do. But like, that's their whole thing. I'm gonna play it down the middle on you when they do stuff, and it's not, look, they don't have to release every title for me. I don't give a shit. Like, if I don't want it, I'm just not gonna get it. But when you're doing something that can overall hurt the label and it doesn't go with your stated sell, like, it's like anything else, man. Like, if I walked in to Best Buy and they said TVs were on sale, huge TV sale this week, and I walked in there and they're like, just kidding, TVs aren't on sale, telephones are. I'd be like, what the hell? You told me TVs were on sale. This is a whole alien invasion summer. You gave me Mac and Me in a slipcover. So that already, everything you put out with it doesn't make sense. And then your stated complaint about the Vinegar Syndrome line, I hate whenever they blame the audience. That's a pet peeve of mine. Blaming the audience is a super pet peeve of mine. There is a channel out there that has become this kind of abandoned physical media that's all about new movies, and he loves to blame the audience on everything. I hate blaming the audience, because if you give the audience what they want, if you give the consumer what they want in a good product, they'll buy it. So don't blame them if you pick bad titles. He can go on, don't get me wrong. If they want to let him do it, I got no problem with him going on forever picking all these titles that don't sell, because I don't have to buy them. But don't blame me and short me somewhere else and say, well, now you're not going to get these other releases on 4K because y'all didn't buy enough of these cinematographs on 4K. Do you see what I'm saying? That is my problem. Don't pick bad titles and then blame the consumer and then shortchange me somewhere else. Like, well, hey, you were going to get, Masters of the Universe on 4K, but since y'all didn't buy a new Leaf and Go Fish and stuff, we can't afford it. Like, that's the problem. That's the overall problem. And that, because if a business is losing money over here, they're going to take it from somewhere else. Don't take things. When somebody says, maybe they're watching my channel, maybe they're doing this, we put out a poll and they did. Warner Brothers and stuff will send out a poll, not to YouTubers, but to they have a certain subscriber base that they'll send out a poll to vote on. So, but that doesn't even mean they got to go by it. Thanks, B Maga. Yeah, I'm killing my own video. Because I came on to do this live. I'm absolutely killing my own video. The best place to start for Vinegar Syndrome right now, I would come down here. If you have no Vinegar Syndromes in your collection, I would come down here and immediately buy these three. Amityville Horror with the slipcase in 4K, From Beyond 4K with the slip, and Showgirls with the slip. If you have none, I'd start there. It's fair to call out someone that's harming the identity of a company. Vinegar Syndrome is known for certain kinds of movies. You should let one... Yeah, you shouldn't let one... Like, I get it, it's a sub-label, but y'all, the sale built to this announcement at the end. Like, this the grand finale. Like, you should have saved Mac and Me for today. If this is the grand finale, you should have saved Mac and Me. If that was your big thing, which apparently it was, you should have saved it for today. There's some missteps going on here. And don't forget, y'all, I'm telling you like this, I am the same guy that was a week ago was accused of being paid by Vinegar Syndrome to shill for them. First of all, Vinegar Syndrome, to my knowledge, don't give anybody anything. But I was talking to Beetlejuice about this private messaging. It was like a week ago. I was accused of shilling for them and getting paid and taking money from them. And now I'm getting accused of hating them or whatever else already. And I'm like, dude, no. There's accountability. You set a standard. I hate to use a football analogy, but like I played football at University of Georgia. I played for Coach Mark Richt at the time. You set a standard. You play to a standard. Now Kirby Smart has came in there and he set the standard even higher. You have the standard you set for yourself to live up to that everyone expects from you. You play to a standard. When did people shit on the Roadhouse VSU though? Like I've always universally I've heard that is like people lift that one up. I haven't heard and that one sold out like that. So did Showgirls. So I don't know about now you have a couple of people in the community who make their bones shitting on Scream Factory and Vinegar Syndrome, which is their right to do. And I don't agree with them. I still think those two, as far as 4Ks, are the best in the business. But that last month would disagree with you. Last month they dropped out The Golden Child. They dropped out Dirty Work. They dropped out Jade. They dropped out The Dark Half. They dropped out Let's Scare Jessica to Death. They have a deal with Paramount. They have a big deal with Paramount. They really put out a bunch of Cinematograph merch for sure. Let's check these daily deals again. I'll get the sidekicks. Schoolgirl Screamers has been on like every sale for the last I don't know how long. So somebody would have to tell me about that one. I think that's one that looks like it would have TNA in it and be a fun slasher and doesn't have any. I think somebody told me that once. Here, Vinegar Syndrome Archive is another place where they've lost their way. They've lost their way on the Vinegar Syndrome Archive. It has become mostly Asian cinema. Even my boy Jason at Pop Culture Mass, who is a huge Asian cinema and martial arts cinema fan, even he said the same thing. These don't fit the VHS days in the 80s and stuff. They don't. Frostbiter. Oh, man. So it looks like just the Sidekick's second VSU for me. Backup VSU. This is also true. People destroy Sony and Disney for the Steelbook releases, and they just keep doing them. So those two definitely aren't listening. The problem is Beetlejuice is Justin LaLiberty doesn't see this as a trash title. He sees this as a prestige title. That's the problem. Like, he has a disconnect with this audience. Yeah, hit the like button because I killed my video for this live stream. I definitely did. That's gonna cost me. That video is gonna be garbage. It won't do anything. Nobody will find it now. That's not kidding. That's no kidding. YouTube algorithm will screw me. It will not let you see. It won't push them both. But like the problem is like there's the one channel that makes their shtick cracking on Vinegar Syndrome and Scream Factory. Ken, these titles are just not for Ken at mid-level media. Like the nothing they put out, because Ken doesn't have, like, you know, and Ken, to Ken's credit, he'll tell you, like, hey, I didn't see Karate Kid when I was growing up. I grew up with Sidekicks. I didn't watch Karate Kid. Or he didn't see Golden Child. Like, he didn't see a lot of these. And he's more of a bigger budget type film watcher. So, like, the independent film and stuff like that Vinegar Syndrome does, he's not their target audience. I haven't really seen anybody outside of him and the guys that kind of always cover these sales and trash them. I haven't really seen anybody else trash Vinegar Syndrome. I know there's a lot of people that like to shit talk them in those groups and everything, but it's like they're also still part of the groups and buying stuff. Yeah, so like, yeah, I've seen a lot of people, even the guys that listen, like, because even the guys that don't like Vinegar Syndrome have like loved Mac and Me. And again, I'm not the guy that's like, well, that company sucks because they didn't put anything out for me this month. I don't do that. I'll be like, it's down month. I'm not buying anything. Save the money this month. Like, for me, there's nothing. I'll tell you guys, my targets are my not targets each month. But if I feel like I'm also not going to get on here and say, you know what, man, Scream Factory had a great drop this month. They put out Mama and a bag of chips. It was great. Like, I'm not going to do that either. Like, I'm not going to do that. And I'm not going to say, hey, Vinegar Syndrome was trying to woo a bunch of subscribers. They did a new VSU, which I've been praising, that they're going to 4 VSUs. I've been praising them on that. I've been covering my monthly subscription and everything else. But I'm not going to get on here and say, hey, you know what? They built this whole Alien Invasion Summer Subscriber Week sale, and it was the best one ever, and the best titles, when it just wasn't. Like, I honestly wouldn't have bought any of the main 3 titles this month. I damn sure won't buy the Cinematographs, or the VSL, or the VSA. I'm not, or the Gausser. I'm not interested in any of those, and that's fine if other people are. My complaint is the titles that you put out this sale do not go with your theme. Like, one of them does. The rest don't go with the theme that you built up. And the Cinematograph line, you're now moved to the point where he's on there blaming the consumer for not buying, but he keeps doubling down on titles that don't fit with this company. I don't deal with people blaming the consumer. I don't do that. I am not a fan of that. There's a lot of stuff like these movies out here flopping. I commented on another YouTuber's page about ILO or whatever. He's like, I don't understand why that movie flopped. You guys just don't want to go see movies. You don't want to go see original movies. The press on that movie for the past year has been that the Pixar CEO went and saw it and like, look, it's too much of a certain agenda heavy. We can't do this. We've gotten orders. Iger's wanting to switch things. This is too much for a movie with about a little kid. You got to cut this down. And all that has been talked about, and people are staying away from that stuff. They're staying away from it. So don't blame the consumer, because you put your niche, your idea, the one thing you like out there. Don't get pissed off when the masses don't agree with you. Like, you have to, find what you want. It's the way I approach Criterion. I can get, people make fun of me all the time. Oh, this guy doesn't even like foreign films. He doesn't know anything. Besides the fact that I taught film or whatever, it doesn't matter. I pick the Criterion films that fit into my taste. If you're going to run this cinematograph line for Vinegar Syndrome, you need to pick the titles. This is how you start narrowing it down. You pick the titles that fit your stated goal that you like. Then you start seeing which one of those also fits the clientele for this company. What are they most likely to buy out of those things? Now you've got it narrowed it down to that. Now see which one of those that you can acquire. Not, I like this movie. I want to show what a film connoisseur I am. We're going to go after this movie with both barrels and put it out on 4K. And if they don't buy it, it's their fault. You can't take that approach. And I'm sick of that approach. That's not just Vinegar Syndrome. That's with filmmaking and everything else. Like, I am sick of that approach. That's essentially what could happen. Yeah, that's pretty much it. They're 100% like Criterion titles. I appreciate that, man. I appreciate it. Hold on one second, y'all. That's it. I have respect for them. I love Vinegar Syndrome. I will support them. I want to get my movie, bring me a dream place with them. But you know what? My movie fits with them. Hell, my movie Dark Rose, I was trying to get it placed with them. It's probably bigger than most titles they got. Hell, it stars Bill Moseley and everything else. But, I love them. I love them. But ask yourself this. Would Criterion say, you know what? We need to start putting out stuff like Nightmare Sisters and get some different, and see how that sells. We need to put out Nightmare Sisters. We need to put out Invisible Maniac. No, because they know who their customers are. Now, I got no problem with you trying to expand your customer base, but you do that by getting into Barnes and Noble like they're doing. You do it by getting, with the VSU line, more widely known films. That's your prestige line. So that's where you focus to get Roadhouse, to get Showgirls. Stuff like that that people have heard of. That's where you do that. That's how you cast a bigger net. They came for Roadhouse and they stayed for Nightmare Sisters. They came for Showgirls. They stayed for Vice Academy. That's how you build this customer base right there. Oh, but that is people comparing. That's people trying to compare the transfer. And that one guy that was shitting on him pulled it down after I called him out. But that's not complaining about the release. That's trying to say that Arrow's transfer is better by people that don't know what the fuck they're talking about. That's not like, but since it came out, Roadhouse has been held up as in high regard from Vinegar Syndrome. And you had a lot of people. You had Ken too, who, Ken, he reviews stuff for Arrow. Even Ken was like, no, the Vinegar Syndrome one is better, and it's been the standard. So, like, that's people comparing the transfer, which was stupid because it was the same transfer, just had Dolby Vision added. Correct, but that's been a while back. But it also, again, money talks and bullshit walks. People can say, oh, it was too mainstream, sold out like that. And, it's that's just a fact. Same thing, Amityville, Showgirls, Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2. All these that are too mainstream, they sell out like that. So people holler that, but the money and the sales don't back that up. Even the people that shit talked oh hell, what's the Golden Child. The Golden Child is down to just around 2,000 copies left. It's been out for like 5 weeks. Becca in the house. Hey, Becca. They did the reviews with Arrow and the Vinegar Syndrome one, and I called it out because I put up mine from my TV, and people were doctoring that shit, or their TV was set completely wrong. One of the two. And then I did a whole TV settings thing. Oh, yeah. Mac and Me is McDonald's placement for sure. Oh, let's check out the what has sold out, the going out of print. Let's see how Cemetery of Terror is a recommend. It's down to 272. What about Surf 2? That's a recommend too. That's fun. 493. Beastmaster is of course the limited edition box set sold out. Slipcover sold out. Standard is sold out. So they're going to be out of the Beastmaster business now. Oh shit, wrong button. Let's see. Satan's Slave sold out. Shallow Grave sold out. Six String Samurai. Yes, the limited edition box set finally sold out. What, 3.5 years later or something? Standard edition has got 43 left, so they're going to be out of the Six String Samurai business within, if not by the end of the day, within a week or so. Oh man, I keep hitting the wrong button. Sorry, bastard. Unmasked 25. Let's see how many of the. There's still 233 of the VHSs left. I can't lie, I bought one of those. Unmasking the Idol. That's a VSA. Again, Not a movie that I would have seen in my local VHS stores back in the early and mid 80s. I wouldn't have seen it there. Wouldn't have been there. I think the VSA line has lost its way too. But I love Vinegar Syndrome. Do not get it twisted. I love Vinegar Syndrome. Like, do you have any idea how many freaking Vinegar Syndrome I have back here? I got a lot of Vinegar Syndrome. But you know what? I love my kids too, but I get on their ass if they mess up. Scream Factory has no subscription. I'm gonna do my mid-year rankings here. Be out probably Sunday or something like that. Al Bundy once scored 4 touchdowns in one high school football game at Polk High. Give him his respect. Rage Carry 2 and 4 other films that were on sale. I've never seen Rage Carry 2. Yeah, kind of feels like a little bit of an overall alienation. Andrew says, Girls School Screamers is bad. I'm as big a VS fanboy as you'll find. I cannot good heart. Yeah, that's pretty bad, brother. I have heard that kind of, so I kind of always steered off of it. I'll never recommend anything that I haven't seen either, or that I'm not buying. If I'm going to blind buy it, I'll tell you why I'm going to blind buy it. Brother, I don't know how you could get more than you're already getting. like Arrow puts out at least a couple a month. Scream Factory puts out 1 or 2 a month plus box sets. Arrow will drop a few box sets per year. 88 Films is putting them out every month. Vinegar Syndrome's putting them out every month. I don't know how you can buy more than you're already buying. Yeah, Planet Mondo, I hear that. I am picking up, in full disclosure to everyone, I am picking up a second copy of Sidekicks VSU, because that gets me closer to finishing out 2 lines of VSUs. So that will get me a step closer. And I may, because my price is like $32.99 or whatever on Golden Child, I may go ahead and pick up my second one of those too. Yeah, I'm going to try to catch back up with the chat, y'all. Chase Street, I appreciate it, man. $20 super chat says, I totally get what you're saying. I'll always love Scream Factory for bringing me old Elvira's macabre hosted movies to DVD. Doesn't mean I love everything they do by any means, though. Yeah, I'm going to be honest with you guys. If everything were on fire and I could save one label, it'd probably be Scream Factory. Because they actually, and I know Vinegar Syndrome has the VSA line, but I honestly think Scream Factory puts out more movies that I remember seeing in the video rental stores in the early 80s, mid 80s, late 80s, early 90s, mid 90s. I feel like they put out the most of those. Arrow puts them out too, but they just don't put out as many. Like, Scream Factory puts out a lot. So definitely. I didn't mean to skip over everybody. I was just checking out the... I saw the super chat popped up, and I really do appreciate it, because I have killed my video for the day by coming on live. Ben, you ain't lying. No Holds Barred, that would be... See, now No Holds Barred would be a perfect VSA, in my opinion. A Vinegar Syndrome archive. Something you would have seen on the VHS shelves back in the day. Maybe it had a blip of a theatrical run. Made its bones on home video. To me, that's a VSA. Movie Mass in the house. Sorry, I'm way behind, brother. There's Jason. If you're still in here, Jason, did you see that? You got Justin LaLiberty trying to make Cinematograph Criterion. Trying to catch back up on the chat over here. You know, I thought that it would be like, I thought that they would put it at Six String Samurai price. But at $25 or whatever, or $25.99, I'm gonna go ahead and get it. I don't think it's gonna sell out anytime soon, but I'm gonna go ahead and pick it up there. The extra $6 or $7 isn't worth the wait for me on that. I'm just going to go ahead and get it. But I thought it would be Six String Samurai price as well. They need to... I'm telling you, I said it yesterday, and listen, Beetlejuice, I hope somebody listens to me. Like, you think they listen to us YouTubers? I don't feel like anybody listens to shit. Or maybe they do listen to me, and that's why I don't get anything for free. To me, it's simple. You've already done one step in the right direction, going to 4 VSUs a year, one a quarter just makes sense from a business standpoint, collector standpoint. That's easy to keep up with. You get one every 3 months. VSU is your prestige line. It's your ultimate line. This is how I would fix it. I would do 4 a year. Those would be titles to the level of Roadhouse, Showgirls, The Golden Child, which people scoff at, but The Golden Child made $100 million at the box office in 1986. That was a big movie. It would be to that level kind of movie. Like, if you could get big, I know they can't, but like Big Trouble in Little China, Over the Top, Iron Eagle, different movies like that would be where I would focus my VSU line. Right there. And that would be my prestige titles to bring in other people. Like I said, you get the masses to come in for Roadhouse, and they stay for Hell from Frogtown or whatever. You get them to come in for Showgirls, they stay for Vice Academy. So that's what I would use my VSU line for. Prestige titles to bring in more people, wider stream of people. And then VSAs, I would go to like I was saying before, look at what you did with Vice Academy. I would go with the late night 80s, 90s, straight to video rental store type stuff. I would go, Hamburger the Motion Picture. I would go Beach Babes from Beyond. All that kind of stuff is where I would go with the VSA line. Nightmare Sisters, which they put out like that. That would be my VSA line, and I would mix in other action movies and stuff from the 80s over there. Like, I mean, they can't. I think Kino's put out the Blu-ray, but like, Pray for Death, American Ninja, if you want some of that in there. And then you could go to like Missing in Action 2, the beginning. Like stuff like that in the VSA line. These old kind of B action movies that they're getting beat to by Kino, like Rolling Vengeance and stuff like that. That needs to be, that with the late night raunchy comedies, that needs to be your VSA. The stuff you would have rented in the video rental store back in the day, that would be over here. And then my standard releases that I do each month, I would focus on horror 4Ks and the occasional comedy 4K like they did with Dirty Work. And that's how I'd roll, man. That's how I would roll. And under your VSAs, you can put out your other more obscure horror stuff like friggin' Haunted Ween or like hell, I don't know, Evils of the Night, which I think they did release. Shit like that over there too. That doesn't belong on your major monthly releases. Yeah, Golden Child will sell out, I believe. That's the thing too, and I said that when people shit on Navy SEALs when it came out. I'm like, that movie did decent at the box office back in the day. It's got a cast. It's got a beautiful box set. It's going to sell out. And it sold out in like, what, 10 months? I guess 10, 11 months. That would be perfect. That's where they need to live for their VSA line. I feel like overall the demand is going up. That's why I don't think the negative people are having that big of an effect. When see, I keep hearing that they have access to Code Red stuff and Scorpion stuff. Code Red, like, they had Heavenly or Scorpion, same thing basically. They're two sides of the same coin. They had like the Heavenly Kid. I love the Heavenly Kid. It's one of those raunchy but kind of sweet Lewis Smith and Jason Godric or whatever his name is, and that's a good movie. But they also had like Where the Boys Are, the Cheerleaders. Like the Cheerleaders is one that's like crying out for a VSA type release. A numbered edition, Vice Academy type cover. All that shit's there. Code Red had it. I got a stack of them down here. I pulled them out yesterday. And stuff like Hot Moves that's stuck on DVD. I actually put an inquiry in last night, an email to the only contact I can find connected to Hamburger, the motion picture, to try to find out about the rights to it last night. And Chase Street, man, I appreciate that $20. I really do, because I've killed my video today. Yeah, and again, they don't have to, they're not sitting back there. I don't expect them to sit back there and say, let's pick out movies for Chase. I don't care. I care about you getting way off track and not kind of coming through with what you're saying you're going to do. And I really have a problem with the consumer blaming. The blaming of the consumer. Don't blame me because your titles, the titles you pick, don't fit with your consumer base. Don't blame me for that. I have not seen that, Ben. Yeah, like, I mean, I love my kids, but I'm going to get on their ass if they don't do right. They mess up. Jake says, you're spot on with Cinematograph line. I would have bought a 4K of Weird No Angels, but instead we get a new Leaf on 4K, which is like, yeah, my grandma might like it. Yeah, they got those exactly backwards. Like, that it makes no sense. You've got a movie here that's what, from 89, 90? Kind of funny. Got Robert De Niro, Sean Penn, Demi Moore, John C. Reilly. No 4K, because these other obscure 4Ks didn't sell. But I'm going to put another movie, obscure 4K of Leaf, whatever, new Leaf on 4K. Like, what in the hell are you doing? The next big batch of Vinegar Syndrome titles will be at the beginning of next month. Like the 1st of August. Scream Factory is definitely top 3 for me. I mean, to me, and I know that I'll catch grief from people no matter what I say, but for me, it's the top 3. It's Scream Factory, Vinegar Syndrome, and Arrow in my top 3, and then everybody else. Criterion doesn't do most of their own restorations. And if they did a 4K scan and put it on a Blu-ray, if it comes to 4K and they don't add HDR or Dolby Vision, then they didn't add anything to it. They just put it on a bigger disc. They don't change the artwork up. They do a lot of things that are lazy that they can get away with because they're Criterion. And I like Criterion, but that pushes them down for me. Kino cheap slips. They do not do restoration of a lot of their stuff. Like, their restorations are not on the level of Scream Factory, Vinegar Syndrome, or Arrow. And they do a lot of just scans. No restoration at all. Just get the 35 millimeter, scan it, put it on the disc. They don't do a lot with the art. And the slip covers they do have go like that. Like, they barely put any slip covers out there. But they do have good sale and pretty good selection. So that pushes them back up a little bit. And then like 88 Films, to me, they're still building up. Like, and they release a lot of what other people put out. So does Imprint. They're a very niche box set type company. So, like, to me, those three are up there. I appreciate that, man. Yeah, I don't even know how that video is doing. Let's see. It's probably like, you stupid idiot. Yeah. It's ranking 10 out of 10 right now. 10. It's the worst video I've released in my last 10 because I'm killing it by being over here, by doing the live. But it is what it is, y'all. Let's see here. Yeah. Y'all make sure you go over there and give that a click, cause this is it's rough. Because look at that, 172 views in an hour. That's like super low for me. So, but I'll give you a little spoiler. My bottom list is Six String Samurai at the bottom. But I rank them, I open them up in case you haven't seen them all, kind of talk about them and explain why I think they are, where they are, and all that kind of jazz. And it helped me a lot if y'all go check that out when we're done here. Yeah, they've been having problems, and I've called them out on those too. Same. I've called them out on that. So why would you take Arrow over Scream? Tell me why. What is it? Is it the box set? I mean, like, I'm not being a smartass. I want to know. I want to know objectively why. Yeah, I had Arrow #1 last year, and I do a whole scoring system, and I will do them individually. That would be awesome, the Andy Sidaris. Yeah, like, see, that needs to be over in the VSAs. Hard Ticket to Hawaii, Picasso Trigger, was it the Dallas Connection, Miami, like the different, all of his movies. I agree with this. It is so much. It is so much. Like, if you're going to do it, give a line, because, like I said, if Vinegar Syndrome's putting out 1 or 2 of those a month, and Arrow's putting out 1 or 2 of those a month, and 88 Films is putting out 1 or 2 of those a month, and Scream Factory now is putting out a couple of those a month, or a box set, or Arrow's dropping a Shawscope box set, and all this different kind of stuff, like, I don't even know how you Asian cinema fans can afford to buy it all. Like, it's like drinking through a fire hose how much of that stuff's coming out. Yeah. I mean, overall, like, yeah, like if I wasn't a subscriber for sure, like those two, I would probably order the most from. Scream Factory the most. Like, it was a shock for me this month when they didn't put out anything that I'm ordering. Which, I mean, that's because they just didn't really. They put out the Hong Kong Cinema Classic and they put out Mama. They didn't have a lot. Then like a cartoon that I wasn't something about a zucchini, and that's it. So they didn't have anything for me this month, which is rare for them because usually I'll be getting 4, 5, 6 4Ks from them in a month. So I probably buy them, and I would probably buy more Arrow if they put out like here lately. They've got where they've only put out like 2 a month. Long before Hamburger the Motion Picture officially came out, I had gotten tired of waiting about the unofficial DVD. Blu-ray ever comes out. Right. Do you know how much? Listen. Do you know how many VHSs were wore out at the point where the guy is under the table going down on her? I call it eating under the table scene. You could probably rent the VHSs and they would be like wore out right there on that spot. Yeah, we sure do. We sure do. I love that movie. Hot Dog the movie is awesome. Very underrated, I think. I've got the Synapse Blu-ray, which is good, but it's been out for a long time. Do you really want to hurt me? What? We need a WTF. Were they thinking ranking for me? Um, that would be fun. That, you know what? I'm actually going to write that down. It would have to cross all, I guess, maybe boutiques. Space Camp would be a great VSU. That would also be a great VSU. It would. That would have been a really good release for this week too. They will. Should you wait? Beetlejuice, that's a good question because you don't know how many times I've asked myself that question. I don't. It doesn't look like that's going to get a 4K. I'm not even sure if anybody else is going to put it on Blu-ray. Man, you think Arrow has overall better titles than Scream Factory? Really? Because here lately they've just basically been getting some old Scream Factory stuff and putting it on in 4K. So, uh, I mean, I get that about the slips, but still, I mean, and I'm a huge slipcover guy, but the movie still comes first. Like, I'm not gonna, like, I would rather have 6 movies that I really want to own than one kind of cool slipcover. Um, I think Scream tramples Arrow. Oh, yeah, Scream. The only company, if any, that Scream Factory is second to in 4K restorations transfers is Vinegar Syndrome, and it's close. That's close. And if you factor in how many, that's the other thing. And I had talk with Beetlejuice too. Vinegar Syndrome is putting out maybe 1 or 2 4Ks a month. Same thing with Arrow. You know, like Blue Underground, maybe what they're gonna put out one every few months or so, every 6 months, all this kind of stuff. Vinegar Syndrome dropping 3 to 6 4Ks a month, most month, and they're at that level of quality. That's hard. Scream Factory has a lot more of what I remember from back in the day. They really do. Overall, it's like if you're looking, like I can just scroll through here, like obviously The Fog, The Faculty, Battle Beyond the Stars, Time Cop, They Live, Prince of Darkness, Killer Clowns, like Halloween 3, all the Halloween movies, vampires, you know, like all of this stuff, Return of the Living Dead, like these are movies, Humanoids from the Deep, Day of the Dead. These are movies that I remember seeing. Sleepaway Camp 2, Deathstalker, Lord of Illusions, Monkey Shines. Like, they just have a catalog that I remember seeing and renting a lot of. Night of the Creeps. All this kind of stuff. I remember more. Sorority House Massacre. And they put it out. Escape from New York, Creepshow, Candyman, Forbidden World, RoboCop 2. Like, dude, all these movies. Life Force, Army of Darkness, Stepfather, Child's Play. They just seem to have more that I remember, like I said, as a early 80s, mid 80s, late 80s, into the mid 90s. And I love Arrow. Arrow I had ranked as my number one last year, based on all the criteria. Speaking of rankings, right now, before I did this today, I was working on the top horror VHS covers of all time, because y'all got, you know, I'm so into that. I'm gonna do the horror ones, the comedy ones. I'm gonna do the action ones of all time, and then I'm gonna do a whole overall list. So it's gonna be a series of probably 4 videos. Yeah, Arrow has been extremely light on Chunky Box stuff, and their reviews have been questionable. I will say that. Brian at Last Movie Standard pointed out that too. A notable nudity line. The Vinegar, like I don't understand. I was a big. I mean, I went after Arrow in a couple of videos this year because of not fixing the disc stuff, and after they did Dark City box set, we went. It was either 2 or 3 months where we didn't get a box set release. Like the next box set release we got after Dark City was Creepshow 2, just announced, and people were like, "Well, yeah, but we just got Dark City." Like, yeah, you just got it, but it's from like 2 or 3 months ago, pre-order. So we went a while without a box set release. Meanwhile, they're pumping them out. They got 2 different ones they could choose for Zombie Flesh Eaters in the UK. Technically, the UK ones are the Dollars trilogy. They got Dark City over there as well. They're getting all these box sets, and we weren't getting anything. There was one month where I think all they released in the US was Long Kiss Goodnight. I was like, one, that's it. Felt like Bob Uecker. That's all we got. It's one goddamn hit. Like, I felt like that's all we got. Arrow has been the most consistent label out of the rest of the years. I don't know about that. Well, they did do that. That was a plus. That was a plus over the Scream Factory version for sure. Not all of them. Not all of them, right? It's only for certain ones. You have to go back and read about that deal. So it's only for certain ones, right? The Cobra, listen, my Cobra review is going to be out later this week. It's already done, but I've got videos scheduled to come out just from time constraints. I'm going to tell you right now, spoiler alert, if it was a chunky box, people would be talking about it as one of the top 5 overall 4Ks of the year. But whenever something's not a chunky box, people knock it down. But based on a 4K, I think it's better than Dark City. Oh, it would have sealed the deal. Yeah, they have all those. But I mean, you're not gonna be able to name off as many. Like, I like what Arrow puts out. I'm a huge Arrow fan. Had #1 boutique last year. But you're not gonna be able to you're not gonna be able to name out as many. Like, I can sit here, if you're gonna go name for name, Screen Factory's gonna win on the amount of titles. Unmasking the Idol was a fun Indiana Jones knockoff. That's interesting. The Woman. Yeah, I haven't seen that one. Yeah, should put out Grumpy Old Men. Call it a day. But bypassed how? Because they are still, they're neck and neck with Vinegar Syndrome for the best 4K restorations out there. And they're putting out way more titles. So how are they? Is it just because they're not doing chunky boxes? I mean, it was just a couple of months ago, the month before last, they dropped out. What was it? Alexander, Ace Ventura, Bring It On, Abigail, Lord of Illusions. They did the Jet Li box. They did the Black Exploitation box. I mean, they were dropping that one month. They dropped out like 15 4Ks in a month, and Monkey Shines in one month, because I was like struggling to try to buy in the same month Monkey Shines, Lord of Illusions, Abigail, Bring It On, Ace Ventura, Alexander, all in one month, and I didn't even buy World Trade Center, and I didn't buy the box set, but that's 6 4Ks in the box set right there. That's a lot. I mean, they just dropped out. Arrow's been putting out like 2 in the U.S. per month, so they dropped out half of Arrow's yearly load in 1 month of 4Ks. So, I mean, if you want to argue the slipcover packaging, then yeah, they need to do better slipcover packaging. But if their slipcovers were in Vinegar Syndrome style slipcovers, yeah, Severin and Synapse don't really blip my radar. What they have is good, but like you said, there's like one title out of like maybe 2 titles a year they announce that I'm interested in. I'm gonna need you to explain this though. Like, I mean, I'm not like calling you out. I want you to tell me how you think they're writing off their past. Like, what is it that they're doing that makes you think they're riding off of their past? I did order that. I overall agree. That's true. Yeah, I mean, they've had some consistency problems the last like year for sure. And I love Arrow. Like, it's weird because I find myself like having to like, like, it's like if you say something else is good or doing better, it's like you're automatically putting down something else, and that's not the case. Yeah, basket case I got for like 15 bucks. It has from Arrow, but it has limited rewatchability overall for me too. They have tweaked that so you cannot look at the numbers anymore unless it's under 2,000. So the way you would do that is you go to the title you want, click on that title, go into it, right click the page, click view page source, and then at the top right you would type in inventory quantity. But they have it fixed. They have it changed. They changed it recently, like a week or so ago, where if it's over 2,000, it just reads as 2,001 copies left. You've got to get under 2,000 before it gives you the accurate number now. I don't know how they rigged that, but they did. That's true. That's true. Have I been contacted for big budget movies? Like, what do you mean? Like, contacted how? Yeah, I mean, I love the packaging. I love packaging too, but I'm not gonna say like, look, I'm not gonna buy. I'm not gonna sit here and tell you, yeah, man, I'm not gonna buy Ace Ventura because it. I don't like the slip, or the slip is flimsier than I like. I'll just say if it has a slip available, I want the slip. I just never been a Western guy. Like, growing up, very rural Georgia, spending a lot of my time on my great grandparents' farm. This is back in the day. I'm older than a lot of y'all, so back in the day when you just had a few channels, the don't, you got to turn it. And my great grandfather, he didn't watch TV much, but like if the TV was on, if my nanny didn't have her soap operas and her other stuff on, then my pawpaw had the one TV, and if there was a western on, it was going to be on. And I TBS was the main station that we could draw in, and they showed every western a million times over. And I'm like, I don't know, I've just never been into them. The scream shout titles are part of the Target sale. Yeah, they do that both ways. They'll do it UK only, or they'll do one that's been in the US and then they do it over there. Yeah, but he said they weren't even all going to come out next year. they weren't coming out this year or even all in next year. They went on to say like 27 and 28 and beyond. So they're planning, there's like 6 or 8 films or whatever it is, and they're planning to take the damn next 5 years to do them, it seems like. Yeah, Prime Day is tomorrow. I'm hoping that the rest of the stuff to finish out my surround system goes on sale. Although I'm broke now, I'm killing my video over here. Or maybe the video just sucks. Maybe that's why. Let's see. Woo! Lord. Pretty rough. Y'all want to see? You want to see what it looks like on the back end? Make sure there's nothing over here that you can't. Like, I don't think it has any personal info out there. This is what this looks like on the back end. So this is how YouTube can make you hate yourself. Really good. So like 221 less than usual by this time for this video. It breaks it all down, and then you start comparing everything, and it's a never-ending thing that will make you feel really bad about yourself, because what was successful with video, what showed as successful with videos 6 months ago or even 3 months ago, if you continue to grow, now that is terrible. And so then YouTube reads it as you're not doing as good as you were, because now you went from averaging 3,000 views a video, or from averaging 1,500 views a video to averaging 3,000 views a video. So now anything you get less than 3,000, YouTube reads as a failure. So it's a never, it's a never-ending thing that'll beat you to death. It always makes you feel like you're not good enough. I mean, I have two. I have the Sony X800M2, the modified region-free version that you can get on Amazon for like $375. But the better one overall is the that I have is the Panasonic UB820. But that's the one I got. But that is the sale today, y'all. I just wanted to, I wasn't trying to rant. I cannot believe they did this. I appreciate that. I appreciate that. I appreciate that. I love doing those. The ones with the clips, like, take a lot longer to do, because I got to find all the clips, convert the clips, edit the clips, cut them in, you know, and all that kind of stuff. So those take a bit longer, so I can't do those every time. But, and when I say a bit longer, I mean like a full work day, like a full friggin' 6-8 hour work day to do a video like that. So I can't do those all the time, but I love doing lists. I'll look at that, Beetlejuice. But this is the shit that we got today, and I don't care if I mean, again, you know, they don't have to put out movies for me, but don't this has nothing to do with alien stuff, and don't blame the consumer when this doesn't sell. So that's don't blame the consumer when this, don't come back on there like you did and tell me you can't give me We're No Angels in 4K because Thieves Like Us and Who Killed Teddy Bear in 4K aren't selling, and then turn around in the same cell and put a New Leaf on 4K. It just, the thought processing here makes no sense. rank these 5 labels as of today. I'll do this before I get off here because I am starving, y'all. I haven't eaten. TerrorVision, Severin, Synapse, MVD, Rewind, Vestron. Shit. Maybe for me, MVD Rewind. I just love that's another VHS old school thing. They kind of swooped in and took a lot of what VSA should be. MVD Rewind, TerrorVision, Synapse, Vestron, Severin. Severin doesn't put out very much stuff that I'm interested in, and the last time I bought from them on a sale, it took me 13 weeks to get my stuff, and they just don't put out a lot of stuff that I'm into. But I'm digging TerrorVision, even though some of the stuff is kind of cheesy and everything. I like their whole vibe, all that kind of stuff. I like TerrorVision, them and MVD Rewind right up there. Vestron, the old Vestron collection I'm trying to collect, but they've gone up on price now that they're in there with for just Blu-rays. Now that they're in there with the Lionsgate stuff. And Synapse I like. Synapse does good work. They, again, just don't put out enough stuff, and they don't put out enough stuff that I'm looking for. But I got to jump out of here too, y'all. Please check out my video because I killed it with this live, but I wanted to get on here and talk to y'all for a few minutes. But check out the video that's up now. I rank the VSUs, explain my ranking, all that kind of stuff, show all of it. And then tomorrow I got some Criterion stuff coming out, I think. And I got my Cobra video this week, some lists, rankings, lots of stuff. Appreciate y'all hanging out with me. And until next time, be kind, rewind like always. This is Chase with AV Pop Culture. And I'll see you real soon. Buy the stuff you like. Buy the stuff you like. See you later.